All right, good morning once again. Here we are again for another travel talk. I don't know, Deb, this is getting to be a pretty regular thing here with you and I.
That's right. Every week now for the last several weeks, but that's good.
Yeah,
That's
don't get
good.
sick of us.
That's
Today we're
right.
going to talk about something different. We're going to talk about the North Shore Mackinac Island trip that's going in 2022. Deb just told me the dates. It's going to be September 8th through the 14th.
Yep.
Great time of year to go. This is one of those trips I always enjoy the pictures you send back, Deb, with the horse-drawn carriages and
Yep.
the hotel stay that you have, and just the island. Just kind of that calm, relaxing, beautiful scenery there.
Yeah.
You're going to tell us all about that today, and it is a popular trip with
Yes,
Northern
definitely.
Travel. Always. It always fills, and
Hmm.
you tend to always have an excellent time there as well. While we are talking today, feel free to post any comments. I know we aren't live today, but we're uh, very active on our Facebook page. So you can leave comments. We'd be happy to talk with you. Also on YouTube, same thing. If you have any questions or comments, please talk to us there or call the office, which I will put that number up here in just a bit. Rhonda can answer any questions. I can also talk to you about the website here after Deb is finished. But now we'll have you take it away, Deb, and tell us all about the North Shore Mackinac Island trip.
Okay. Well, thanks, Rachel, and good morning, everybody. Nice to see all of you folks again. And like she said, this is the North Shore Mackinac Island Tour, September 8th to the 14th of this year, 2022. It is a 7-day trip. It is a very popular trip. Jim and I have been doing this trip, I would say, in one form or another, going to Mackinac Island. We do different itineraries, different years, but we always used to go there. But we have been doing this trip, I would say, the last, I don't know, probably 8, 9, 10 years, something like that, every year, with the exception of 2020, of course, with darned old COVID. But otherwise, we've been doing it every year. And like Rachel said, it is always a sellout every year. So if you like what you hear here, please don't wait too long to get signed up because it usually does fill up pretty fast. So with that being said, I'll just go ahead and tell you a little bit about our day-to-day plans that we have. We will on day one, Thursday, September 8th, we'll pick you up in your normal pickup location, and then we will head over into central Wisconsin. And the first night we'll be staying at the Lodge of the Crooked Lake, which is near Siren, Wisconsin. By then we're getting into the Northwoods of Wisconsin, so it's really, really getting pretty out there. Our hotel the first night sits just across the street from the hotel within easy walking distance. There's a beautiful lake there that you can go over and sit along for a while if you want. They got a nice restaurant right next door to the lakes, or excuse me, to the hotel. So it's kind of everything's all in one there. So it's a nice place to spend our first night. Then the next day, we'll get up and we will continue our trek north and east. And we're going to take you up to We'll get into Michigan and take you up to Ironwood, Michigan to begin with here. And our first stop is going to be the Copper Peak Ski Flying Hill. This is a super, super neat place. It's a unique place. It's Copper Peak is the largest man-made ski jump in the world. And if heights don't bother you, you'll take a chair. First of all, we'll get you up there, and then you'll take a chairlift ride up to the crest of the hill. There you'll have the opportunity to take an 18-story elevator ride up to the top of the observation deck near the top of the ski jump. And while up there, you'll have a 360-degree unobstructed view of nearly 40 miles in every direction. It's really quite the thing to see. Especially now with Olympics coming here and starting in the Winter Olympics starting in just a couple weeks, if you've been watching any of the trials, I'm sure you've seen where they've had some of the ski jump competition on there. And that's just what this looks like. Once you take that elevator up, once you get up the top of the hill off this chairlift, and you take that 18-story elevator ride up to the top of the observation deck. You get to walk out right alongside the actual ski jump that they have there and get the feel of it. And personally, I think those folks are crazy that do that. It's unreal, the courage and the adrenaline they must have to be able to do something like that. So you really get the feel of it. So it's a neat place to see. It makes for some beautiful pictures of all of the, because you're up above the Northwoods and get to see all the beautiful scenery. So it's really neat. Again, this is not mandatory. If you do have problems, with heights or whatever, why you can stay down at the bottom down there. They've got a nice gift shop and that stuff there, and beautiful views from down there too. But so anyway, that's that. After we leave there, we're going to continue our journey. We'll get right into the Upper Peninsula of Michigan then. And again, the Upper Peninsula, or UP as they refer to it as, is beautiful, beautiful area, especially this time of year in September. And we'll travel over to Munising, Michigan. And there we'll stay, which is right in the Upper Peninsula there. And we'll stay right on the Lake Superior coastline that night. Our hotel there is a nice hotel. We'll get you some supper and the views. You'll get to go out and walk along the lake out there where our hotel is located. So that's a really neat thing. The next morning we'll get up. We're staying right there that next morning, then in just on the edge of Munising, and we're going to go out for a lake cruise along the pictured rock lake shore. This is a widely known, popular destination for a lot of folks, and I can definitely see why. We did it I put it into the itinerary for the first time last year, and boy, I could see where I should have done it long ago because it's really neat. All these rocks, you get in the cruise boat and you go up along the shoreline for about 40 miles, and the rock line, the edge line is so beautiful. So much color in the rocks. It's really, really, really neat. Lots of lots and lots of color and the different formations. And it's a guided trip, and so guided tour. So it's really one of the highlights of the trip. People really, really seem to enjoy this. So we'll be doing that. Then after we get done there, we're going to continue our journey on eastward, and we're going to go over, head over to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And there's Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada, and Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. We're staying on the U.S. side, of course. And we'll be getting you checked into a hotel there in Sault Ste. Marie that night. Then the next morning, we're going to get up, and right there in Sault Ste. Marie, we're going to do the Soo Locks boat tour. And this 2-hour cruise, you're going to find educational, informative, and just fun to see. We'll lock through the Lake Huron and Lake Superior locks. And again, this is a guided tour. And as we're cruising along the lake shore there, we're going to go past some giant lake freighters, and as well as cruise under the International Highway Bridge. And we're going to get a kind of a sailor's view of many different interesting sights. I think you'll really enjoy this. And then later that morning, after we get done with that, we're going to travel south down to Mackinac City. And this is where we will we'll have lunch there in Mackinac City. But before we do that, on our way to Mackinac City, right before we get to Mackinac City, we're going to cross the Mackinac Suspension Bridge. And this 5-mile bridge is really quite the thing to see and experience. This suspension bridge is the imaginary dividing line between Lake Michigan and Lake Huron. You got Lake Michigan on one side and Lake Huron on the other. And it's really a neat thing to see. And you'll learn all about the history and everything of the bridge as we go across it. That'll get us over into Mackinac City. We'll take you downtown and get you lunch there in Mackinac City. And then early that afternoon, we're going to catch the ferry over to Mackinac Island. And that'll be our home over there for the next 2 nights. And the bus will be staying on the mainland. So we'll get all your luggage unloaded and that'll go over with us on the ferry across. And then it's about a 20 to 25-minute ride across on the ferry from Mackinac City over to Mackinac Island. We'll get you over there. We'll get you checked into the hotel. And then you will have the rest of the afternoon and evening to do whatever you want. Just enjoy the quietness of the island and go out and explore. Our hotel, while we're on the island, is right on what I refer to as Main Street of the island, where it's close to everything. You've got the waterfront just across the street over there. You can easily walk over there. They've got a nice little park there that you can sit. And but it's right on, our hotel is right on Main Street, where you're close to the shops, all the souvenir shops. You're close to the bike rental shops. You're close to the fudge shops. As everybody knows, Mackinac Island's known for its fudge. They've got lots and lots of fudge shops over there. So you're close to all that stuff. And then what I really like about this hotel, and this is my favorite thing to do, because number one, I am not a big shopper. After being traveling all these years, I've just run out of space to buy stuff. But anyway, my favorite thing to do, and a lot of folks like to do this, is this hotel has a long front porch on the front of the hotel. And on the front porch out there, they've got all these nice white rockers, like, the Cracker Barrel rockers that you see. They've got them all sitting across the front of this long porch. So what people like to do, and what I really like to do, is go out there and sit on that front porch and just be a people watcher and an everything watcher. As everybody probably knows, Mackinac Island is a non-motorized island. That's why they always say when you go over there, you feel like you step back in time, and you do. There is no motorized transportation over there of any kind. The only motorized vehicles they have on the island are their emergency vehicles, their fire trucks, their ambulances, so on and so forth. But otherwise, everything is done by horse and carriage, horse and wagon, on foot, bicycles, you name it. That's how everything is done over there. And what's fun, especially in the mornings and the evenings, especially the early morning, what I like to do is go out and sit in the front porch and watch all the horses and wagons go through, because all the supplies for the stores and the restaurants and everything there all come over, by ferry, and then they have to be delivered, and they're all delivered by horse and wagon. So it's fun just to watch all these deliveries being made as the horses clip clop down the street. It's a neat thing. So I think you'll really enjoy that part of the sereneness of the whole island.
Deb, that's so funny. I mean, because you don't think about, the people who live and work there, and the day-to-day
Right.
routines that have to continue to happen without
Exactly.
motorized vehicles. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty neat. I've got, over the course of the years, I've got really some neat pictures that I've taken. So then the next morning, you will get up to the hearing of the clip clop of the wagons going down the street and the horses going down the street. The next morning, you'll get up, and we will have a horse-drawn carriage tour of the island. This takes about 3 hours or so, but we'll go, it's a narrated tour. We'll go all over the island, and you'll learn all about the history of the island. You'll learn about the folks. There are folks that stay there, that live there 12 months out of the year. Not many, but some do, because they have some pretty horrific winters there. It's, like I said, right on the southern Canadian border. So, and they're right along the Great Lakes. So they get, lots and lots of snow and lots of cold and lots of ice and lots of everything. So you'll learn all about that when you get there. So anyway, we'll do this carriage tour that morning, and then we will end up, they will drop us at the Grand Hotel for lunch. And if you're familiar with Mackinac Island at all, you know that the Grand Hotel, she's kind of the queen jewel of the island there. And it's a big, beautiful, historic hotel. And we'll have lunch there. And then after lunch, you'll get a chance to walk around and explore the hotel for a little while. And that's always fun to see and do. There's been a couple movies over Step Back in Time, that have been made there over the course of the years with Christopher Reeves, and it's like I said, lots of history. Okay, so then that afternoon, after we have lunch, and give you some time there to explore the hotel, then we'll catch a taxi. And when I mean taxi, I mean a horse-drawn carriage ride back downtown, and you'll have the remainder of the afternoon and evening again to yourself to do whatever you want. If you want to get out and do some shopping, or if you want to take a bike ride, they've got lots of bike rental shops there. That if you're into biking, you can do that. What's always a fun thing, and some folks always do this, is that the rim of the island is 8 miles. The circumference of the island is 8 miles around, and this is they have a paved highway. It's actually the only highway in the state of Michigan that is where they don't allow motorized vehicles on it. But anyway, they have an 8 mile paved track around the entire island, and it's level. It's not hilly or anything. That you can rent bikes. You can walk around it or walk as far as you want to, but you can bike around the entire island, and a lot of folks do that. Back in my younger days when we used to go there, Jim and I used to do that all the time. But anyway, it's just a fun thing, if you care to do it. If you are really into horses and you like carriage rides, you can rent your own carriage. You can rent your own carriage and horse. You can rent a horse and just go horseback riding. So there's lots of different things that you can find to do, or you can just sit in the front porch with me and be a people watcher. So it's just a super, super fun, relaxing time. There's a fort there too, Fort Mackinac, that if you care to go in and, if you're into the history, of the wars back and then, why you can, go in there and visit there as well. They have a butterfly house that you can go explore. So just different little things that you can do while you're there. Then we'll stay overnight there on the island for the second night. And then the next morning, we will ferry back to the mainland, back over to Mackinac City, where we'll get back on our bus and head down the Michigan coastline, heading south. And then it's that afternoon. This is Tuesday afternoon. You're in for a real treat. This again is a fun thing. This is the first time that I did this. Is last year in 2021 when we did this trip that I took this in, and folks really enjoyed it. But we're going to go down to Mears, Michigan, and we're going to do a sand dune ride on the sand dunes of Silver Lake. They have special vehicles to where you can get like 8 or 10 folks in these different dune buggies, as they call them. And you take off and you go out into the sand dunes, and it's so much fun. The drivers are they tell you all about what's happening, and God, you're up one hill and down another and over a sand dune, and it's really, really neat. I mean, even for us older folks, it's a lot of fun. You don't have to be a young kid to enjoy this. And they take you out by the lake, out there by Silver Lake, and you get to get out and spend some time there running your toes through the sand and all that stuff. So it's just a fun thing. Then we'll leave there and we'll head back a little bit further north, again up to Ludington, Michigan. And there we'll get you checked after supper. We'll get you checked into a hotel there. Then the next morning, which ends up being day 7 of this tour, Wednesday, September 14th, we're going to go out and get on board the SS Badger Car Ferry, and we're going to ferry across Lake Michigan. This is a huge freighter of a car freighter that is left on the Great Lakes. It's the last coal-driven vessel that's on the Great Lakes. And it'll be a 4-hour cruise across Lake Michigan. We get on there in Ludington, Michigan, and we go across Lake Michigan over to Manitowoc, Wisconsin. And then we'll get off, and then we'll head on towards home. But while we're to get on the Badger, the SS Badger, the car ferry, we get off of our bus right before the bus backs onto the car ferry. The bus, it's really kind of neat to watch it. It sits underneath on the belly with all the other cars, sits underneath on the bottom of the boat. And anyway, the bus driver backs the bus on, and then we're free to roam the boat for the whole 4 hours. They have things like movies and that stuff they show. They play bingo. They do that kind of thing. Or you can just go out, and what's really neat, and just soak up the sun on one of the ship's decks they've got chairs all around. Or if it happens to be a little windy or cooler, they've got inside glassed areas where you can sit inside and still see out and see everything as you're going by. And then once we get into Manitowoc, Wisconsin, once we get there to the shore, or then the bus drives off, and then we get off and get onto the bus and we head on out. Then we'll continue on across Wisconsin and getting you back home late that afternoon, early that evening. So, and that'll be it. So again, that's 7 days. As you can tell, lots of fun stuff going on the whole time that we're out there. We got something going different every day. So it just makes it a fun trip. The price of this trip is $19.49 per person, double occupancy, $24.69 single occupancy, and $17.99 per person, triple or quad occupancy. And if you sign up before April 8th of 2022, you'll get a $50 discount off of this trip. So in other words, the double occupancy would make it right at $1,900. So again, it's a popular trip. I wouldn't, if you're thinking about it at all, I sure wouldn't hesitate to wait to sign up. Our departure cities are all our normal departure cities: Fort Dodge, Waterloo, Cedar Rapids, Ames, Ankeny, Grinnell, Coralville, and Williams. And again, when I encourage you to sign up early, for those of you that have already traveled with us since this COVID business, we've been to help ensure everybody's safety and keep everybody safe. We've been going with smaller loads on our motor coaches. So we go with approximately 25 to 30, and that's all. So again, this will, I'm sure, fill up fast. So we, that 25 to 30. And again, while we're talking, trying to keep everybody safe and all that, and this is on all of my tours for this year until further notice, just to help keep everybody safe. To ensure the safety of all of our travelers and follow the guidelines of our vendors, effective January 1st, 2022, this tour, along with all my other tours, like I said, will require you to show proof of a COVID vaccination and current up-to-date booster status. This mandate will be in order until further notice. And again, this is just to help keep everybody safe and still be able to get out there and travel and see the world and not let this pandemic, hold us to home. So I think, Rachel, that pretty well covers everything on my part here.
Perfect. This trip never disappoints. And even if you haven't traveled with Northland Travel before, this would be an awesome trip to join and start out with. I think you would be pleasantly surprised at all the fun to be had on this trip. You heard it from Deb. April 8th is the deadline to get the early booking discount. Remember, this trip takes off in September, so we're already looking towards fall of 2022, which is crazy, but it's not, because like you said, let's plan our days and let's
have something to look forward to.
Exactly. Have some fun on the horizon. So you can find this itinerary as well as many others on northlandtravel.com. If you click on the group tours page of the website, you'll see them all listed there. They have little buttons. You can go ahead and view and download the itineraries if you wish, if you want to learn some more about this trip. You can also call the office at the number listed below, and Rhonda can help you with questions. Deb can help you with questions. We'd just love to see you on this trip in 2022. So thanks for joining us again. We hope you have a great day. And gosh, this week, I think we'll just say, the week that we're currently in, we'll say stay warm. So thanks again, and everyone have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, everybody.